Every day your brain makes thousands of decisions, some conscious, most not. While we'd like to believe we're rational beings making thoughtful choices, science tells a different story. The human brain is a master of shortcuts, tricks, and subtle manipulations designed to help us survive and save mental energy. But in the modern world, these mental hacks don't always work in our favor. In fact, many of them work against us. From the beliefs you hold to the way you spend money or judge others, psychological mechanisms silently guide your behavior, without your permission. In this video we'll expose 10 sneaky psychology tricks your brain uses against you every single day, based on real cognitive science and behavioral psychology. 1. Confirmation bias. You believe what you want to believe. Your brain craves consistency. It doesn't like being wrong. So when faced with new information, it tends to seek out evidence that confirms what you already believe and ignore anything that contradicts it. This is confirmation bias, and it distorts how you interpret the world. If you believe a certain political idea, your brain will naturally latch onto news articles, social media posts, and conversations that reinforce that view. You might even forget facts that go against your beliefs. This is why two people can read the same story and walk away with completely different opinions. To fight confirmation bias, intentionally seek out opposing viewpoints. Ask yourself, what evidence would prove me wrong? That's where the truth often hides. 2. Anchoring. Your first thought becomes your final judgment. Imagine you're shopping for a car. You see one listed at $40,000. Then you see another at $32,000 and think, wow, that's a great deal. But is it? That first price anchored your brain. Even if the second car is overpriced too, it seems cheaper in comparison. This is called anchoring, and it affects far more than your shopping habits. From salary negotiations to quiz answers to your opinion on someone's character, your first impression becomes a mental reference point, whether it's accurate or not. To be sure, always pause and ask yourself, is this comparison fair, or just familiar? 3. The Dunning-Kruger effect. You think you know more than you do. One of the most dangerous mental tricks your brain pulls? Overconfidence. The Dunning-Kruger effect shows that people with low ability often overestimate their skills, while experts tend to underestimate theirs. It's not stupidity, it's cognitive illusion. The less you know about a topic, the more likely you are to be unaware of your own ignorance. Meanwhile, truly knowledgeable people know how complex a subject is, so they often doubt themselves more. If you feel 100% sure about something, it's worth double-checking. Humility is the beginning of real wisdom. 4. Selective perception. You only see what you expect to see. Have you ever bought a new car, then suddenly noticed that car everywhere on the road? That's not the universe playing tricks. It's your brain filtering reality. Selective perception means your brain pays more attention to what it expects or wants to notice. It can distort your experiences, blind you to certain facts, and amplify others. It affects how you judge people, evaluate relationships, or interpret conversations. You don't see the world as it is. You see it as you are. Ask yourself, what might I be missing right now? Train your brain to question its own lens. 5. Cognitive dissonance. You rewrite reality to avoid feeling wrong. When your actions don't align with your beliefs, your brain gets uncomfortable. This mental discomfort is called cognitive dissonance, and your mind rushes to resolve it, usually by changing your beliefs to justify your actions. Example, if you think of yourself as an honest person but you tell a lie, your brain might rationalize it by saying, well, it was just a white lie. It didn't hurt anyone. Over time, this creates blind spots in your self-perception. Get comfortable with discomfort. Sit with the feeling of being wrong instead of rushing to explain it away. That's where growth happens. 6. The spotlight effect. You think everyone's watching you. When you walk into a room, trip slightly, and feel like everyone saw it, that's the spotlight effect. Your brain believes you're the center of attention far more than you really are. But the truth? Most people are too busy thinking about themselves to notice you. This trick makes you overly self-conscious and fearful of embarrassment, limiting your actions and confidence. Remind yourself, no one is thinking about me as much as I think they are. It's freeing. 7. Loss aversion. You hate losing more than you love winning. Imagine losing $100. Now imagine finding $100. Which feels more intense? Psychologically, losing something hurts twice as much as gaining it feels good. That's loss aversion. It's why you might cling to bad investments, toxic relationships, or outdated habits, because letting go feels worse than holding on. Your brain tricks you into avoiding risk even when the reward outweighs the danger. It's a survival instinct gone wrong. Reframe the situation. Instead of asking, what will I lose? Ask, what do I stand to gain? 8. The halo effect. One good trait colors everything else. If someone is attractive, you might also assume they're smart, kind, and trustworthy. That's the halo effect. When one positive trait makes us view a person more favorably overall. The same goes for celebrities, leaders, and even strangers. Your brain takes a mental shortcut. They're good at this, so they must be good at everything. But reality is more complicated. Evaluate people by their actions, not appearances or charm. Don't let one trait overshadow the full picture. 9. Availability heuristic. Your brain trusts what's easy to remember. If you see news reports about plane crashes, your brain might think flying is dangerous, even though statistically it's far safer than driving. Why? Because your brain uses availability as a shortcut for probability. The availability heuristic means your brain assumes that if something is easy to recall, it must be common or important. But vivid doesn't equal true. Just because you remember something well doesn't mean it's more likely. Ask, am I remembering this because it's common, or just because it was shocking? 10. Sunk cost fallacy. You stay because you've already invested. You've already watched 45 minutes of a boring movie. Should you stop watching? Many won't, because they feel they've already invested too much. That's the sunk cost fallacy in action. Whether it's a business, relationship, or Netflix series, we often stick with poor decisions because we don't want our past effort to feel wasted. But that's like continuing to dig a hole because you already spent time digging. The past is gone. What matters is what you do next. Ask, if I hadn't already spent time or money on this, would I choose it now? That's the only answer that matters. In conclusion, your brain isn't your enemy, it's just an efficient machine trying to save effort and protect you from harm. But in doing so, it often leads you down paths of bias, illusion, and irrational thinking. These 10 psychological tricks don't make you broken, they make you human. The real power comes in knowing they exist. Awareness is the first step to freedom. When you recognize these mental patterns, you gain back control over your choices, your thoughts, and your life. So next time you catch yourself clinging to a belief, fearing a loss, or judging too quickly, pause. Ask, is this my brain protecting me, or tricking me? That question alone can change everything.